Good day, fellow readers and writers. My name is Megan J. Collins, and welcome to my channel. This week, I'll be following Charles Dickens' writing routine to see if there are any skills that he could teach me in my own writing style. At the end of the week, I'll go over the pros and the cons. That way, you get to learn if this writing style also would work for you. At the end of the video, I will also calculate how many words I got. That way, I can see how successful the week actually was. I'm pretty sure you guys already know who Charles Dickens is, but just in case, he's the author of A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations, A Christmas Carol, and many more. And for the first time in the series, I can say that I've actually read his stuff. I really like his style, and so I'm really excited to learn his routine. And with that routine, let's get into what that is. Dickens' routine consists of waking up at 7 a.m., eating breakfast at 8 a.m., writing from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and during lunch he doesn't talk to anybody. And then from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. he goes on a walk the whole time thinking of his books. And then he eats dinner at 6 p.m. and for the rest of the day spends with his friends and family. And lastly, he goes to bed at midnight. If you've seen my previous videos on W.H. Auden and Stephen Pressfield, you'll know that I'm not a morning person, so I'm not excited for that. But at least I don't have to get up at 6 a.m., so I'll take what I can get. Personally, I already know that the not talking to anybody during lunch is going to be a bit difficult just because I typically have lunch with my sister. One of the things I'm most excited for this week is doing the walking, just because I love it when writing routines have exercise involved with them, and I love that Dickens does that, and that he thinks about his stories while he does that. So I think that's very clever of him and a very smart way to use his time. Now for the modifications. I am out of school now, so I don't have to worry about like the morning stuff, but I do have a job now that starts at 2 p.m. so I will have to make some modifications for that reason. So on days that I'm working, I'll have to stop writing at 1:30 p.m., which means I won't be able to do my walking time so that I can go to work. However, my work, I'm standing and I'm doing kind of mundane things, so I will be able to think about my writing. So I won't be doing a traditional walk, but I will be thinking about my writing and still having exercise. I also work 5 days a week, so what I plan to do is do Charles Dickens' writing routine for 2 days, and then only do 3 days for it during my work days, so that the next 2 days I have free. I can do that. That way I have 4 full days following the routine and only 3 more half, but still basically following the routine. So with that being said, it is 8 a.m. so let's go have breakfast. Okay, my writing is done for the day. I definitely got a lot done. I won't tell you the word count until at the end of the day, but now that it's 2 p.m., it's time to go on a walk. Okay, I didn't start walking till closer to about 2:30, just because I had to drive to the walking area, and I decided to go to one that's a bit out of the ways, but it's where we used to ride horses, because my family, we grew up with horses and stuff. So now it's on to walking. Which way do I choose? This way. It's raining, but a little water never hurt anybody unless you're Elphaba. I am officially on my way back. Half of it, my walk's already done, so more than halfway done. Okay, I just finished my walk. I walked for about 2.5 hours-ish. I walked a little under 4.5 miles, so pretty good, especially for someone who doesn't go on walks very often. But yeah, so I did my workout for the day, and now I need to go and get some groceries for dinner, and then I get to go hang out with my family. Okay guys, so it is the end of the first day following Dickens' writing routine, and I must say it went pretty well. I did get up closer to around 7:30 just because I'm not a morning person, but I did like how slow the morning was. It didn't feel very rushed. You got to like make your bed, do some light chores, then eat breakfast, and then the writing was pretty good. I definitely have found that I'm starting to get a bit better about writing in the middle of the day. At first, during the first two writing routines, like W.H. Auden and Stephen Pressfield, it was very difficult, and it was not something I was used to and comfortable with, but it's getting a bit more easier to just wake up and start writing instead of just how awkward it was at first. Then after that, I went on a walk and it was really good. I did get a little bit sunburned, so I need a bit more sunscreen on than I did. So yeah, not the best. So that'll be very fun for the rest of the days that I will be a little bit sunburned, but I'll make sure to put on more sunscreen. After that, I just made some dinner and spent time with my family and watched Big Brother and whatnot. And at the end of the day, I got 1,298 words, so very average for me. But I'm excited to see what tomorrow will be like. And since it is about 11:40, that means it's time for bed. We're on a walk by the park.
She dragged me here.
Yeah, I drove you here. I drive you here. We got boba because it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
We used to get boba on Fridays, but now we get on Thursdays. Going on a walk, talking about my story, so still following Charles Dickens' writing routine, even though I don't think she invited his sister on his walks. But
we are talking about her books.
We are talking about my books.
So I'm more asking questions about them, and then she's explaining all the drama
to make sure that I remember it correctly. Yeah. This is my sister.
It is me. Hello.
She thinks she's funny.
I don't think so. I know so.
Are you just filming me chewing? Look, it looks like they did like a chalk thing. You can definitely tell it has rained. But I really like this one. It looks really good. My cousin Paisley would love this one. For a second, I thought this was a snake, but it's a person with hair. I know. It might be washed away, but I would live in this house. I love Victorian homes. Rhett would like this one.
Yeah, he would.
Okay, we saved a good one for last. Hi!
Here's my dad.
Dad, you look like a serial killer.
I am a serial killer.
It's a video.
I know that, Megan.
Hi guys, it's the end of day 2 of following Charles Dickens' writing routine. It was pretty good. Well, I wrote this morning. I wore an ice pack to try to get as much heat out of my sunburn as I possibly could. So hopefully it will be cleared in the next few days. Please. After that, me and my sister went and got some boba and just took a walk in the park. She asked me a lot of tricky questions about my books, so keeping my brain sharp about all my characters and whatnot. And then we went to a play with my dad, and it was really funny, so it was pretty good. And then when we got home, I'm going to be completely honest, totally almost forgot about filming this outro for day number 2. Got ready for bed, and I was like, oh great, I'm supposed to film an outro. So we're doing that now. Overall, to sum it up, I got 1,032 words for day 2, which is definitely not my best, but hopefully it will not be my worst. With that being said, on to day 3. Okay guys, it's the end of day 3 following Charles Dickens' writing routine. It was pretty good. I didn't film anything because it was kind of boring. Instead, because I had work tonight, I decided to do a walk in the morning from the 7 a.m. to the 8 a.m. Just one little walk, got some grocery shopping done, just nothing too major. And then I wrote for several hours until I had to leave for work. I still, personally, I do not think writing in the day is for me, but I am getting better at it. And at the end of the 3rd day, I got 1,576 words, so not too bad. Hi guys, so it's day 4 of following Charles Dickens' writing routine. I did say in the beginning of this video that I would be taking 2 days off from the writing routine. That way I can do my 2 days off of work to actually do the writing routine in its full extent. And I did use those 2 days just because I'm working full-time and I'm getting really tired from all the writing and then all the working and not being able to see my family as much. So I did take 2 days off. Sorry. And today was definitely a bit more difficult, probably because I took those 2 days off, so I wasn't in the rhythm anymore. So waking up at 7, oh my goodness. I'm not a morning person. I've said that several times. Was not fun. I woke up closer to around like 7:30, then ate breakfast, and then wrote for the rest of the time until I had to go to work. And at the end of the day, I got 1,927 words. So even though it was definitely a bit more difficult to get started, I did get a fair amount of words by the end of the day. Okay guys, it's the end of day 5 of following Charles Dickens' writing routine, and it went pretty well. I was able to wake up at 7 and get into writing and stuff. And my writing, it definitely flowed a lot easier for me, which I'm very thankful for. At the end of the writing period before I had to go to work, I had written 2,570 words, which is definitely my best this entire week. So I am very happy and pleased with that. I'm also happy to report that my sunburn is all gone, which is great because tomorrow I don't have work, which means I'm going back in the sun. So I will make sure to put on lots of sunscreen so the sunburning does not happen again. And with that being said, let's go to day number 6. Okay, I'm back to where I was originally last week, just so I can continue on the trail, see something new. I decided to wear a long sleeve, that way I don't get sunburned, because I'd rather not do that. Even though it's like 90 degrees, I'm not going to risk getting sunburned again, because that was not fun. But yep, so let's go on our walk today. Okay, we made it to about halfway through the walk, so now it's time to turn around and do it all over again. Hi, so I'm back from my walk. See, there's my watch. I walked for about an hour and a half and got 3.7 miles, so pretty good. I did start walking a little bit later just because I was in a writing mood, so I wrote for close to about another 30 minutes. And since it's almost 4:30, I have to go pick up dinner for my family, and I'm also having some friends over because we're gonna watch some scary movies, so on to that. This is the setup for the scary movie tonight with my friends, and that's the scariest thing in the room. we got Hamilton, skeleton. To be or not to be? That is the question.
His name's Toby, so he's Toby.
Yeah, it's Toby.
Toby or not Toby?
Smart! Toby or not to be? And there's some lights. And if you go in here... Ah! We're gonna watch some movies with 2 friends. If you want to watch us react to horror movies or something like that, you can let me know in the comments. We would do that on my sister's channel at Randomness with Pax, just because hers is random stuff.
That's what my channel kind of is.
And mine's all about writing and books, so watching scary movies does not necessarily go with that description.
Reading scary books would.
Reading scary books would. So if you want me to read a scary book, you can also put that down in the comments for my book reactions. But just let us know also what movies you want. We don't typically watch anything with demons, just because that's a little too close to home. But yeah, so put that down in the comments and follow my sister at Randomness with Pax. It is the end of day 6. Today was definitely a very good day. Spent the whole morning writing, and then I went on a walk, and it was very fun. It was very hot, but it was very fun. And then after that, I just watched some movies with 2 of my friends and my sister. It was a blast. I loved it. We mostly just talked because we'd pause all the time throughout the movie and just talked about life, and my friend's dad always getting into accidents, so probably not the best for him, but overall it was pretty good. It is later than midnight because you know, when your friends are over, you're gonna stay up later. So that means I have to wake up in like 6 hours. I'm not excited for that. But at the end of the day, I got 1,346 words. So pretty good for a very successful, very packed-filled day. Okay, I just got to the park for my walk for the day. This outfit's very much not a walking outfit, but it felt like very much Charles Dickens to me, and it looks cute, so I might as well wear it. Sorry, the traffic's gonna be very loud here. I decided to go check out the shops near the park. That way it's like I'm walking downtown. At least that's the closest I can do without driving. Yep, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna go to the shops. Probably they have some bookstores, so I'm gonna look there. I might have a little bit of a problem. I went to the thrift store and I got a lot of books. Definitely more than I can carry because my car's parked at the park, which is like half a mile away, so now I have to carry them all. That bag and that gigantic bag. I just counted and I have 22 books to carry all the way to my car. I definitely need to purchase another bookshelf. But at least it was only $50 for 22 books. Okay, I was just barely able to get all the books back to my car. Full blown exhausted now, so it's time to head home and make dinner and then just hang out with my family to finish up Charles Dickens' writing routine. I did get a Charles Dickens book while I was there, so I'm excited about that. Here to try to lift it, see how heavy it is. That's heavy. I carried that a third of a mile.
What's this one?
Well, you can read the title.
The Chosen by Clam Poltark.
Cheyenne Potart.
I was close.
You said clam.
39 clues. Charles Dickens' Hard Times.
I don't know what it's about, but since I'm doing Charles Dickens' writing routine and I saw this book, I had to get it.
On the prairie one. The Long Winter. By the Shores of Silver Lake. Maze Runner.
Yep, because I got the Aeneid, the Iliad, and the Odyssey now.
Blood Promise, Rochelle Mead. This is the second one. New Moon, Stephanie Myers. The Prince, Machiavelli.
Machiavelli.
Love the book Carry On, Mr. Bowditch by Jean Lee Laham. It's about a real person. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Another little house. Oh, is it both?
I have all of Twilight now.
Second one, right?
But yep, I got a lot of books.
Some of those I'm jealous of.
Well, you should have come on the walk with me. Okay, it's officially the end of day 7 of following Charles Dickens' writing routine. It's definitely been pretty fun. For the day, I just wrote, standard thing, went on a walk, and then walked to my local thrift store and got more books than I could carry. So, was that smart of me? No. But did I do it? Yes. Overall, this week has been very good. I really liked doing Charles Dickens' writing routine, but how many words did I get today? I got 1,053 words, which is not my best this week, but also not the worst, so I'll take what I can get. At the end of this week, I got 10,802 words, for an average of 1,543 words a day, so pretty good. Now, what are the pros and cons that I found for Charles Dickens' writing routine? First, the cons. The first one's not surprising. It's waking up early. I've stated it several times, not an early bird, not my cup of tea, no thank you. So I don't particularly like that element of it. Number 2 would be the time of the writing. Personally, I don't like writing in the day. I like writing in the night before I go to sleep. And so for me, I just don't feel as creative or as motivated to write. Number 3 is how there's not any time in the morning to get chores and shopping done. Yes, there's that 1 hour that you could, or could be 2 hours if you eat a very fast breakfast, between 7 and 9, where you could do like all your household chores like dishes, cleaning your room, things like that. But you can't really do any like shopping chores. at least shopping chores before dinner time, because at least in my area, stores don't open till 8 a.m. or even 10 p.m. sometimes. And so it makes it kind of hard to get all your ingredients before dinner. That way you can cook it after the walk. So personally for me, that's not particularly ideal. Now on to the pros, because there's always pros, and I definitely found some with Charles Dickens' writing routine. First, I really liked the walking and thinking part. I thought that was a very good use of time, doing two things at once, brainstorming and walking, getting some exercise, and I overall think that was probably my favorite element of the writing routine. Number two is the duration of the writing. I think it's a very good time, only using like 5 hours, very reasonable and very sound for writing, especially if you're writing the whole time. You can get a lot done. And number three, I like that you get to have a life, even though it's hard to have a life in the morning part because you're doing all the walking and the writing. After all that, you get to spend time with your family and friends, and that's actually part of the routine, which I like. With that being said, do I think Charles Dickens' writing routine is for me? No, at least not in entirety. I do think there are certain elements that I would definitely maybe put into my own writing routine, like the walking and thinking and stuff like that. I do also think that personally, instead of writing at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., that it would be better if I wrote from like 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. or 2 p.m. or something like that. I think that would be more tailored to me and my own writing style. But overall, I definitely did learn a lot of skills from Charles Dickens' writing routine, and it definitely will help me make my own writing routine and figure out what works best for me. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!